right. Now, going from prospects to some of the gentlemen who have already worn the Magic pinstripes. Pich is going to dive into his treasure trove for Magic the Card Gathering and dig out some new categories, from what I hear, to tell us some stories and insights about our favorite Orlando Magic players for some basketball cards.
Yeah, you know, I had gotten away from the categories for a while, and it just didn't feel right.
Okay.
But I found a way to freshen it up with 5 new categories. That doesn't mean the 5 old ones are going to go away.
Okay, thank God.
It just means that now there's 10 categories to choose from. I'm thinking about adding a wheel in there in the future. Who knows, man? This could be fun.
Okay.
But anyway, first up, I've got the category called I've Got Your Number. And this will be players that are wearing the same jersey number. So first off, I'm going to show you number 3, Steve Francis, right there.
Ooh.
Everybody remembers Stevie Franchise. We made that big trade and thought, all right, here we go. We're doing things now. But we gave up too much. And Steve Francis didn't quite play at the same level for as long as he did. So he wore the old 3. I've got one of his old 3 jerseys over there. And who wears number 3 for the Orlando Magic right now? Mr. Chuma Okeke right here on the orange variant. Recently picked this one up in a pack and enjoyed it quite a bit. In fact, I think I did it in the pack battle that we had, which is coming soon. Chuma is wearing that 3 in style. One of my things about numbers when it comes to our jerseys is if we're wearing a throwback jersey and somebody's wearing the number of somebody, like if I ever see Suggs wearing the classic pinstripe like you have on right now with a 4 on it, it's going to make me feel weird. Because that's Scott Skiles.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, whenever they do those throwback unis, it just looks a little weird when you have the same number as somebody that we associate in there more. And at some point, like, I don't think we're ever going to wear this uniform ever again because it's not a stylish one. Because if we did, it would be, to me, I'd be like, well, that's Steve Francis. Why has Chuma got his jersey on? I don't know. That's a weird thing for me, but I'm a big numbers guy. I usually always remember what numbers people wear.
You're very finicky about that.
Even on teams I have no care about.
Yeah, Jason Brown, you just have beef with.
Just
because he has the same number as D Brown, and you think that is a travesty.
Oh, you mean not Jason Brown?
Oh, Jaylen Brown. Sorry,
Brown. Yeah.
Jerry.
Yeah, he's wearing the same number and the same jersey and the same team
and the same name.
It looks ridiculous.
Yeah, that Steve Francis trade. That was the one that saw T-Mac go away.
Yeah, mistakes were made.
Very sad. I mean, mistakes were made before that. The fact that we were last place in the East, was it right? We were doing so badly. We finished with the worst record in the East, T-Mac's last year. Can you believe having a guy like T-Mac and finishing with the worst record?
He was all we had.
It
was, Matt Harpring and
yeah. So we sent out
T-Mac.
I know those are ugly rosters.
Yeah.
We got Steve Francis, Cat Mobley,
Kelvin
Cato, yep, with his ridiculous salary. For T-Mac, Juwan Howard with his monster contract, Tyronn Lue,
yep,
and Reese Gaines.
Yep, not the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right, next category is ooh, shiny. This is where I just get to pick a shiny ass card and show it to you. But I've selected this Larry Kristoviak, 93 Topps Finest, because shiny cards didn't really exist when I was growing up. These were a cardboard based product, and there weren't prisms and there weren't things like that. You kids.
You kids.
But this card, Topps Finest, started to become one of those every card in here is shiny, get used to it kind of sets. And it was mind blowing in the early 90s to see this many of cards like this. You'd pull that out normally, you'd be like, oh my God, I hit the lottery. This is just a regular common card of Larry Kristoviak, and it's really shiny. So
these first gen shiny cards.
Some of them, yeah.
The skin tones on the players,
they didn't
get
have the
so
technology.
jacked up. The technology did not exist yet.
They just were like, hey, I can do this to the card, and they're like, yeah, he looks a little weird, and they're like, but ooh, shiny. And they're like, yep.
Okay,
so
go with it.
That's why we start in the category off.
Yeah,
with Larry.
I have a shiny one. I think similar year with Jeff Turner. That's the one I got signed.
After. I have the same.
That's the one I got signed when we went down, and I gave it to him, and I'm like, oh, man, I'm sorry you're yellow. He had a chuckle about it. He didn't mind, but
there it is.
Yeah, he looked yellow.
They got it a little bit better on these.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit there.
All right. And next I've got why? Just why?
That's it.
And this is a category for why did the Orlando Magic get this guy? And man, I couldn't start this category out with anybody different. You know it's coming.
No.
It's Glenn Big Baby Davis.
You bastard.
Just ruining that number 11 jersey for the Orlando Magic.
Oh.
I just don't get it. A lot of teams in all sports do this. When there's a player that's really good playing against your team, you think, we got to get that guy. And you think, great, now he plays for us. But he never plays the same for you. And he only played well against you. So why don't you take a little research and look at that? I've seen it happen a lot in the NHL too. So it's not just an NBA phenomenon, but this is actually a red variant of this Glenn Davis.
Oh, you
for
love a
anybody who's
variant.
really into their fun variants. I know you've asked it several times. Did you ever come up with an answer for why? Just why?
I mean, he's a rumbling, tumbling ball of fun times. Great personality. Put some butts in the seats. I don't know, man. I was in Boston when he was, backing up at the 4 on those. I wanted to say KD teams, on the Kevin Garnett teams, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce teams. He was just a great role player. And yeah, I was maybe drinking a little bit of the Boston Kool-Aid because I did get a little overexcited.
The dirty water.
The dirty water, indeed. And I called you when we got Big Baby Davis. I was like, oh, Big Baby Davis is coming. He's going to be solid. He's going to be great. I may have said great. He wasn't. Why? Why, Pich?
I really only made that category for this moment, so I just had fun with it. No, we'll do it again for sure because we've made lots of mistakes, and I find lots of guys that I'm like, why? Just why? Next category is rare treasures.
Okay.
So this one's going to be all like signature cards and numbered cards, memorabilia cards that are going to be fun and you'd think would have a lot of value. But I'm going to preface it because today's does not. But it definitely is rare because I've got a numbered card for you. Now, it's numbered 1013 of 2,325, which is very strange. And the part of the reason I think this is even rarer than that number is I'm pretty sure if anyone got this card, they probably just threw it out. It's Danny Shays. He played for us, wore some goggles, some stylish goggles that worked on his face. He's come up a couple of times when we're talking about Wendell's goggles. I think Jeff Turner mentioned them the other day.
I don't think I could pick him out of a lineup.
They're almost like a safety goggle kind of look to him.
Okay. He's got a construction goggle
Danny
on?
did not play for the Magic for too long, but he had a cup of coffee here. He played around. Not a very notable name. But when you got a serial numbered card of a guy that a lot of other people would see that one and just flip on by, but it happens to be numbered on the back, you'd miss it if you weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's even more rare than it's seen there because who
people
would
threw
keep
these
this?
out.
Who would want it?
Yeah,
like
2,000.
Back in the day, kids would have put those in the spokes.
Right. 2,000 of these got thrown out. So there's really only 300 of these
That's what
puppies
I'm saying,
around.
man. It's a rare treasure because Danny Shays is rarely seen in
Those
any NBA circles anymore.
those goggles are nice. Those are like what they give you in chemistry class in high school.
I use those sometimes when I'm doing, if I'm using the saw,
Yeah?
cutting up some hockey sticks at work or something like that.
Yeah.
You throw on a pair like that. They're
There you
nice.
go.
They're good.
Yeah.
I've driven the Zamboni with them. They're good. I'm telling you.
Take notes, Wendell.
Lastly, we've got for you photo buttes.
Photo buttes.
Photo buttes. This is nice photography on display. Just a good looking card. You said that to me the other day. You're like, I like a good looking card. I don't like those ones where it's just the player and everything behind him's chrome. Like I want to see
a nice
some
shot.
action. I want to see some nice shot. And you know what? I said,
photography.
I like that too.
Okay.
So I made a category just for you, buddy.
Hey, thanks, Pich.
And who's kicking us off today? I've got Mr. Evan Fournier here.
Oh, allez bleu.
One of your faves.
Yeah.
And this was very unique because I was looking for a good photography card and I started to notice something. This Evan Fournier is here. Now I'm going to also show you this Evan Fournier. And then I'm going to show you this Evan Fournier. This is the blue variant, by the way. And if you notice here, Evan Fournier is taking the ball to the hole in every single one of these. These are back-to-back years. And they just were like, a lot of players will play a lifetime and not have a card with this nice a picture coming from over the backboard, you drive into the hard to the hole. And Evan Fournier just got like 3 back-to-back. They just said, and Evan Fournier, he can get to the hole, but I don't know if that's what we know him for.
No.
But on these 3 cards, you'd think that's all he does is drive the basketball in 3 different uniforms, basically the same shot, but they're all Buttes. Alligator at these.
That is a nice
I'm
shot.
sure you have similar ones in your collection, but when you start looking, I started looking for a good one, and I started to notice that I was seeing almost the same picture of Evan Fournier in every card, but because he's in different uniforms, they clearly didn't use the same shot. It just happens to be a coincidence. Maybe somebody over there at Panini really likes Evan Fournier and did him a solid.
He really benefited from those Vucevic screens, I guess.
Yeah, man, and that's it for my new 5 categories. We're starting to branch off with some card cousin stuff, some pack battles, some card box openings. You're going to see that stuff coming soon.
Definitely.
I'm psyched about it all, man. We're selling this stuff on eBay too. Court Cousins, check it out if you want to buy some stuff.
Yeah. Well,
not Magic stuff.
Not yeah.
We keep it
there. Sorry. We'll give those away for free in contests.
We'll give it away in contests like the one we have going on right now.
Exactly.